Hello everyone, I'm back again with some more Roottrees Are Dead. Last time I played, got a bunch of leads to sort through, some stuff that I probably don't remember. But I know where we're going to start, so we're going to continue after the loading screen has finished. We got a couple of photos last time that I saved the pictures from, but haven't actually read the accompanying text for, and tried to figure out who's who in those pictures. So that's what I want to look at next. There's also a couple of periodicals that I want to look up. There's Starlit and MMM Magazine. And then there were a lot of name droppings going on that I don't know that I'll get to all of them today, but I will do my best. Okay, so this is the first picture. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the 5 pieces. Okay, so that's actually really useful because one of these 2 women is the eldest daughter. I'm gonna guess the one all the way to the right, just because she has a more mature look to her. And then one of these men is gonna be Clancy. And then the other 3, I'm not sure about. Okay, so the picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. So all the way over to the left. So I'm guessing this is Clancy, because I think that's her father, Lauren. It was taken in 1933 to celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it. And the 3 of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't go over well, to say the least. Eventually, I suppose to stop the tantrums, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. I found out years later that they never even took a second photo. Okay, so if I come over here, so this is Lauren. She's the one who's writing. She says Pop is the one on the left. So that would be this guy. And it's true because it has been locked in. Great. So we have 6 out of 50 people now. Okay, so Carl is officially locked in. So I guess they only lock them in when you meet a certain threshold. Oh wow, there's so many things popping up. Okay, good to know. So I was on the right path with people, including marking him as the 5th. Okay, so we got a knock on the door. We'll get back to the photo later.
You're on a roll. I'll try to keep that momentum going. Carl's office was a mess, thanks to some burst pipes.
How convenient.
But I unearthed a photo from a 1970s Roottrees reunion.
Ooh.
I also found some important-looking papers. You've traced 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have more to share after you find 9 more.
Okay, 9 more. So our goal today is to get to 9. 9 more. Let's see if we can make it. But first, let's go back to the picture we were originally looking at, this one. Okay. So we've got Clancy. Like I said, I'm just guessing that this is the eldest daughter, and that would mean this would be Morgulite. Well, yeah, because she said they were both blondes. So actually, I think that for sure is Morgulite. Okay, and we've already got a photo for that one for Miracle, but neither of these really look like him. Unless he's super zoomed in. Oh, I don't know. Okay. I'll have to come back to them. Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. Oh, did you say Mr. Morgan or Morden? Morden. Okay, so this is Gwendolyn. Oops. Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn. Wait, is that right? Gwendolyn Roottree, not Gwendolyn Morgan. Okay. So, I mean, if that's the case, then she's probably, because she had two, no, we have Angelica. Maybe one of them has a daughter that they name after their mom. Okay, back to the picture. Anything else? Eli Jr. Have we named an Eli Jr. yet? I don't think so. But one of these is an architect, right? We've got the lawyer and we've got the preacher, but we don't have the architect. So I'm gonna guess this might be Elias Jr. and he might be the architect. And maybe this is, oh, I did it. We're at 9. Okay, that didn't take so long. I forgot we were past 6 already. Oh, wow. Okay, so Morgulite, Gwendolyn, and Elias are all correct. You've also unlocked no additional entries yet. That's great, though. We're making good progress. Okay, so we're already past 9. We needed 9 more, not to hit 9. We want to get to 18. Okay. Let's look at that other photo. So we had this one, and then this was the other one from the diary. Okay, there's a lot of people here. Look, so we see this guy with the weird preacher tie. Okay, so this is the next generation. An attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 pieces photo with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since to me, he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. Okay, but I was outvoted by my brothers. Okay, so he's not the one all the way to the left. I mean, this guy looks a lot like her dad. So I'm guessing that could potentially be Eli then. They insisted the 4 of us stand together, and so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwen. Grandma insisted we include Sam, even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why, including Sam. I also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5-piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge even after all these years. That's a really weird sentiment. Okay, so one of these two is Eli. I want to say Eli is going to be this one. Oh crap, they both look so similar. Okay, that's Clancy's picture. So which one looks more like Clancy? I think he looks way more like Clancy. So I think it's him. And we have, oh God. Maybe it's Elias C. I'm just guessing at this point. Okay. So Gwen isn't there. Miracle is there. Is he locked in? I don't remember. Can I see who's locked in? Oh, they give me a notepad. Okay. I clearly was not exploring all the options last time. I could have been just writing my notes in here. Okay, page titles can be renamed to make it easier to remember what you've written on each one. Siblings, people that share the same parent. Cousins, people that share the same grandparents but not the same parents. Second cousins, people that share the same great-grandparents but not the same grandparents. And then third cousins, etc., etc. Kindergarten, already got that. Schools produce yearbooks. Okay, got it. Okay, let's start another page. So I'm going to title this periodicals. And we have Starlit and MMM Magazine. Okay, so those are the periodicals. And then library. I still want to look up Bess Williams and Family Man. Okay, and then we can title this one The 5 Pieces. generation. And then it was the free spirits. And then we'll just say the kids. Alright. I'll get back to that as needed. Okay, and then this is hints. I don't need hints. I'm confused about this part over there. Okay, so if they're not locked in, you can click on them still. So these have not been locked in. That's interesting to me. I don't know what to do with that yet. So we'll come back to it. Actually, let me put in my notes. 5 pieces. Why is Miracle a 5-piece but also in the photo with the next generation? And I think that's him. Okay. That hasn't fixed it. So I don't know that that's even necessarily true. Okay. Back to the thing. Grandma insisted, so we don't really have very many names. Wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, but I was outvoted by my brothers. And her brothers are also in the photo. So I'm guessing, 2 of these have to be her siblings. I'm guessing that's Sam, the little babby. And I don't know who this is. Who else is in this generation? Hold on. So this is the generation we're looking at. She says they're all there. So there's the 2 twins. This person. Her 2 brothers. Gwen isn't there. And then there's this generation. It's possible they weren't born yet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many are in the picture that I haven't named yet? So I'm pretty sure this is her. So that's Lauren. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 people here. So 2 of them are redheads. I'm guessing they must be the twins. Yes! Okay, Miracle is correct now. So that's also good. Oh, and we've locked in the 5 pieces. Great.
You're listening to
I don't know what's happening.
It's time for your headlines. Once an hour, every hour, on the 45. It's a bizarre development to an already tragic tale. In the wake of the accident that took his life, some of Carl Roottrees' belongings have apparently gone missing. Most notably, a framed photo of the Roottree family from the mid-1970s that Carl had on his office wall. We interviewed a local psychologist about who would do such a thing and why. For that article, search online for WRTD News. Again, that's WRTD.
Okay, well, that's like hint, hint. Go look that up, but we're not going to do that yet. Okay, and then that means these 2 are her brothers, but I don't know what the birth order is. And I'm guessing this must okay. So either this is Sam or this is Sam. One of them was born out of wedlock. Like, who cares? But I'm guessing this is Sam. Oh. Have we seen the last name Cattrall anywhere else? Stephanie Cattrall. Okay, so I don't know for sure. I think that's where that picture that goes, though. And then one of the boys goes here and one of the boys goes somewhere else. I'm guessing that's him. And that poster must just be fake. That's my best guess for that. Do we have another picture of Gwendolyn? No, because that's not Gwendolyn. But we can add another picture of Lauren. Wait, there's another girl. This could be a girl, because I mean, she looks like maybe she fits there. Okay, now everyone's somewhere. Let's look at all this new stuff we got. Okay, vote for Stephanie Jones for City Council. Better for Butler County. This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It's a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from the newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let her conflict spread to the next generation. CM. Okay, so this must be CM. Let's write a note. So I'm just gonna write like general search. Okay, and we're looking for, do we have a name? Stephanie Jones and CM. Okay, so this is just like reminding us of things that we've heard in the house. Okay. All these blondes. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water-damaged picture of the phrase spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is, wouldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwen and the boys. Okay, so Gwen is divorced. But we've got this mess over here that I don't know what to do with. I'm guessing though that that's her. Don't have a name for a spouse yet. But the free spirits, okay. Aw. This photo is tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, to Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you are unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Okay, do we have Ernie over here? I don't think we do. Okay. Again, these are first cousins, right? Because this is his his aunt and her son. This is his uncle and his son. So these are all direct relatives. But Gwen is his I forget if it's great aunt. Great aunt sound, well, yeah, because this is grandparents. So cousin once, I don't remember. I don't know, you guys. Okay. Could be over here. Could be over here. I don't know. I don't know enough about Ernie to put him on the board yet. But I'm guessing that means that Ernie's spouse is Debbie. And we have a picture of her. So that's probably Debbie, and that's her daughter, Nicole. And then her husband is Ernie. Okay. Not that. Let's go over here. There's so many people. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. There's those redheaded twins again. Okay, this photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, and Carl's a teenager in the middle. Okay, so we can add that as Carl's alternate photo. If I can remember who's in the middle. I had to have got your photo. Okay. So he's like got a gray blue shirt and his hair looks the same as it always does. This guy. Okay, that's you. Sorry about the water damage. A pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo is childish print writing. It says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Carolyn, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Not necessarily in that order. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I count wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I did not count wrong here though. Someone's name is not signed here. So that may be significant in some way. Okay. Miracle Jr. has to be this dude. So let's replace this poster photo with an actual picture of him, which I think is this guy. Okay. And then, what were their names? That's Angelica and Zachariah, but they probably have kids who look like them. All right, I'm just gonna write down, this is supposed to be, I think these are mostly people in the Free Spirits. So I'm gonna write their names down here. Bonnie, next president. Actually, I don't know if that's gonna be necessarily true. Let me just write down names on family photo. We have Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Carolyn, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Carl, and Eli M. Okay, we have Jim. Which we were guessing that they look identical though. So I don't know if that's accurate. Oh, I can zoom in. Weird. I wonder if she's going to be related to Stephanie and CM. I keep a pin in that. He looks like he could be Jim. I'm gonna put a guess that that's Jim. Okay, it didn't change. So maybe it's not, but I'm gonna do that for now. Okay. There's nothing else that's brand new, but obviously there's a lot of hints. This family was called the Cassels, so she hardly ever mentioned that. Okay, so there's one clue in here that I haven't gotten to yet. Raise their son Clark alone. And did I name Clark? Yeah, I did. Maybe it's saying that this hasn't been marked yet because we don't know. We haven't locked in who Clark is. Wait, did it say Clark was in that photo? No. Interesting. Okay. Let's start doing some searches. I'm gonna look at Starlet. And we're gonna look for Roottrees. Too many advertisements the years. Okay, so we want to look specifically for Gwyn Roottrees. Also, did we get something? Thought I heard a boop boop. Okay. Gwyn Roottrees was often in Starlet. Most mentions were around the time of her divorce in 1958 from Wild Bill Williams. Okay. I knew it was going to be one of those names. Oh. Okay, so that's a stage name. We need to find his real name. The gossip is speculative and full of tabloid stereotypes. Some of it focuses on the fact that she announced her divorce. She also announced she was pregnant again. Others mention that the rumor is Wild Bill had multiple affairs, which left her heartbroken. There's also an interview from earlier in mid-1957 where she was asked about her last name. She answered, "The power of a name is undeniable. My grandfather constantly preached the importance of family names and honoring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall, but Roottrees has power. My husband similarly goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild combined with the alliteration Williams is incredibly memorable. Although we've relocated to Paris, I know your readers love to keep up with my husband, so consider this a Starlet exclusive about both of us. Wild Bill and I have a child on the way, and we're sticking with Roottrees for the last name, not Williams. But we also plan to lean into alliteration. That's how we'll honor both of our family names for the next generation." Okay, we know she has 2 sons. And they've probably been marked off because they're technically not considered a Roottrees, which is lame. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. But their names are R's. So let's go. There's only 2 R's. So it's going to be one or the other. So we're just going to stick Robert and what was the other guy? Ronald in here, and we'll figure it out later. Okay. Let's look up Wild Bill Williams. Okay, stories and gossip about who he had been seen with in public, blondes mostly. 3 specific passages stand out. The first mentions one of his first roles was under his real name, Walter. Okay, so we've got him down. Just to check, is there any other Forsyth in here? No. Okay, good to know. The second is an interview. Although he doesn't mention her by name, you determine from context he's talking about Gwen. An apology to all ladies, I'm actually taken. Earlier this year, I did a friend a favor. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. Wouldn't you know it, that son of a bitch cut me from the picture. I'm just ribbing. It wasn't his fault. Apparently the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my caliber. I got the last laugh though. I met someone. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife, but even through the tears, she was incredible. I know I tend to have a reputation, but this one's true love. I only have eyes for her. Ironically, the third is a rumor that his divorce from Gwen was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwen arguing in public while she was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after, Gwen announced she was divorcing Wild Bill, and also that she was pregnant again, giving this rumor more credibility. Okay, out of curiosity, what is Jim's daughter's name? We have Diamond LaRue. Oh, we don't have a name written there. Let's try Diamond LaRue. Nothing relevant. Jim Roottrees. Nothing relevant. Okay, they're not famous enough. Okay, instead of Starlet, let's try MMM Magazine. Actually, let's try Diamond LaRue here. Oops. Okay, and then, what was her name? It'll be on the CD. The Floozies. That's right. What? Maybe I need to type just MMM? No? Okay, I'll figure that out later. I also wanted to look up... No downloadable version. Okay. Where do we want to go? Nope, not the ducky. Go away, ducky. Actually don't even know that they are root trees. Maybe I should focus on like who are the actual root trees here. Oh, yeah, that's right. Carly Rose root tree. Got it. Which one was Gwendolyn again? Was she the... Christina. Morgulite. Okay, I need to like actually think of what it is that I'm doing. Let's look up Clark Rafferty. I think I already did this though. I think that's what I did last time, yeah. And then it was the album These Times. Oh, did I search this last time? Someone with the username Die Hard Dazzler scanned the cover and noted that it cost him over $200 at auction. Apparently this was Jim and Diamond's first song together. He also mentions that it was performed with Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister, and that it was only somewhat similar to Jim and Diamond's later work. Can't find anything else about Die Hard, the band, or the single, so all that's left to do is add the scan to your evidence. After a blazing 35-minute download, the track is also available. Okay, so I did look that up last time, but I think I didn't, like, pay attention. So we have Diamond, but this is Danielle, unless his second spouse... Okay, what was her name? LaRue. Oh, God, we have... Oh, wait, but she married someone, so Katrina. Okay. They also divorced. But they did have a kid together. Okay. So Katrina LaRue... Nothing. Okay. What about Danielle Franks? No. Danielle Rafferty? No. Okay. November. No. Okay. We have Ernest and Ernest Jr. What was their last name? Madsen. This is Morden, not Madsen. Do we have any other Mordens? We have a James Morden. So perhaps one of your children is a James. But I wouldn't know where to put them. Is there a James in... Hold on. James. There's no... You know, let me look up Guy Hudson because, like... What does that mean? Fancy Flavors was an addition to the 5-piece product line for less than a year in 1979. It was Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottrees. In an attempt to cater more towards what he thought the average person wanted, Guy looked at his own wealth, which was often a source of envy for others, and decided to tap into the idea that if they added fancy flavors to 5 pieces, anyone could live like the wealthy. The philosophy led to flavor in 5 pieces that was meant to mimic caviar. 5 pieces sold less that year than it had any other year except in some foreign markets. It is very quickly announced that caviar was meant to be limited flavor and would go back to normal as soon as possible. Okay, so I'm guessing that Guy Hudson, and we don't even know who the Hudsons are, is President 3, because we've got President 1 and then President 2. It would make sense for one of his kids to be the inheritor, right? But it would depend. I don't know. I don't think that's enough for me to put it somewhere. But let me go ahead and check this for Hudson. We have a Bonnie Hudson. Interesting. Did I have a Bonnie anywhere? I don't think we've put a Bonnie in here. We have a Brenda. Okay. So there's a Bonnie Hudson and Guy and Christopher. Okay, so let me add those Hudsons. Bonnie, Christopher, and Guy Hudson, president. I'm kind of curious what these Kellogg's are doing here. Let's search 5-piece. Really? Okay. From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 Pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Roottrees Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well. Colorful shell-coated maple candies that since the late 20s have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf. Although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavors, but the shape and the combinations remain consistent. Website that claims to have a 5 Pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Okay, so library. When you click through to the website, all it has are broken images. Okay? Public library. Dang it. Thought that could be something. Oh, does it want volume 2? Okay, that did something. It's a miracle, a modern candy for a modern society. Roottrees 5 Pieces contain 5 different maple-infused flavors. The Roottrees are a proud family business, and our flavors are inspired by our children. G is for grape, E is for elderberry, CE is for cinnamon extract, and M is for melon. So it's Gwendolyn, Eli Jr., what's his name? This guy, Clancy. Yeah, that's Elias Jr., Gwendolyn, and Morgulite. Wait. Oh, and introducing M for Miracleberry. Okay, I was like, that's not 5. Miracleberry is a burst of beautiful blossoming blended berries. Try it today. Okay, so that's just really a clue that helps you figure out the names, because it said like the first letter of each name corresponded to a kid. Okay, this is part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925, continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. Book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of insight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. It includes some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 Pieces. Okay. That's not going to help me in the long term. Let's see. Let's go back to these names. Can we find anything else out about the Hudsons? No. I'm guessing... Christopher has to be the spouse of a woman in the family tree because they take on the last name Hudson, not Roottrees, right? So could be them, although it seems like they have a kid. Oh, I mean, he could be Hudson. But it seems unlikely that it would go from Zachariah to someone in the same generation. I don't know anything about these people. Can I find anything else about Robert? No. Robert and who was the other guy? Ronald. No. Okay, what about Walter Forsythe? Is that how you spell it? With an E at the end. Okay. Find some information on a website about old films. The site is not very well organized and the search is broken. Walter Forsythe is listed in the cast of a movie called Gal in the Gang, which was directed by Bruce Throckmorton. It appears to be a low-budget comedy, but there's no other information about it. prolific movie director who released a movie every year from the mid-1960s until his death on set in 1993. Most of the movies could be described as camp, especially those from the early 70s, although you noticed some critics seem to have taken offense with that characterization. One of his signature flourishes was to include a silly message a minute or two after a movie's credits ended. Most of these have been cut from the home video releases of his titles, so fans of his work have been trying to track down film prints to catalog them all. As fascinating as this is, it doesn't seem related to the Roottrees. But what if it was? Okay. Can create notes quickly by highlighting. Oh, okay. Thank you for the pro tip. It would help if I read stuff. Okay. Pretty sure I looked up Edith already. What if you're Miracle the Third? I don't know. That's probably not the answer. Okay. I need to start looking through the clues that I have. Voted Watchman of the Year. Carl is chosen for his work at Roottrees Candy, but rather a clothing company. Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. What was Brenda's maiden name? Brenda White. Okay. Doesn't seem relevant. Raina's new clothes were a hit. Carl's cousin Jim Roottree, a notable singer who had a young daughter around the same age. Brenda's patterns were being copied. Carl and his second cousin Ernie Jr. Okay, so I need to find Ernie freaking Jr. Okay, same great-grandparent, but not the same grandparent. So it could be anyone on this side or anyone on this side. I'm guessing, just taking a guess here, but I'm guessing it's gonna be over here, that one of these is Ernie. He does have a wife and daughter. It was Denise. I'll have to look into that. Okay, I think that's the main thing though, is identifying Ernie. I think that's the big thing that's left with that one. And we still don't have Jim or Miracle Jr. locked in. So there's still something wrong with how I've labeled them. And I mean, I've listed his as James, but maybe... I don't know what else would make sense other than to list him as James Roottree. Maybe musician just isn't his most recent thing? I don't know. And I'm still baffled. Why can't I put Wolf here? There was that photo of Wolf. What's going on here? He looks miserable. Also, he has red hair, which is odd. Just saying. Listening to his parents' latest music. What latest music? Okay. Harrison Lane. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site is not very well organized, search is broken. Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was as the villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brothers, this time as a hero who joined the protagonist. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at the movie premiere. Okay, so I was wondering if he might have been some kind of active flame for Gwen, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So, not the place to go. So let's keep reading. It says there's one thing that I haven't written down yet from here. Told her that being expected to watch her to 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing. Could it just be that because she has 3 brothers and that's what it's getting at? Yeah, we don't even know this brother's name. But it has to be one of the ones in the photo. Did we get the Eli one? Yeah. So we have Elias C., Clancy. Although there's no Clancy in this photo. If that is Clancy Jr. She said both her brothers are in the picture, so maybe that's not his name. We know this is Jim. Oh wait, this is the generation after. This isn't her generation. Okay, let's not get it all messed up. Eli M. Roottree. No. Darn. Oh, Modern Music Monthly. A review and interview from 1979 titled A Reluctant Hitmaker, Jim goes into his first band. Till a few years ago, Diamond and I were in C&J, J&D, with my cousin and his ex. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpop insisted he spend time with my dad and me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters. So the 4 of us had sort of a cutesy family band thing going on. Not our finest hour. Regardless, when Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her youngest sister, everything exploded. No more family band. Okay. So not Katrina. It was actually Jane. Well, did they actually get married? Or did he just have an affair with her? You know, that part I don't know. Okay, let me write in my notes. So this is about one of the free spirits. So Clark was romantically involved with Jane LaRue, Diamond's youngest sister. The only thing Clark and I had in common was music, but even then, we never agreed on what it should be. He was always more interested in catchy tunes, something you hum a week later. I've been told Roland is like that, but that wasn't my goal. When he called me up and said he liked it, I took it as a sign I was going in the wrong direction musically. That made him laugh, but I'm trying to make art. I don't mind saying this because he'd agree. For most of the decade, he was a mess, but he's a lot happier now. He started Raffer Tunes, and he's a much better jingle writer than songwriter. One of the benefits of our famous family is a massive company willing to be a client. That's also how my father was connected to Roottrees. All of his old ad campaigns were hung on the walls over the record player, but I was never interested. I just went straight for music. I guess Clark was paying more attention. Okay, Raffer Tunes? Okay, yeah, I wouldn't have expected the... no. I could have sworn... Okay, wait, how about Diamond? Okay, in an article from 1968, you find a small section focusing on young, upcoming talent that MMM predicts will make it big. It has this to say about the LaRues. The LaRue sisters got their start doing session work for their great uncle's record label. If you remember any songs from 1960 to 1965 that featured the voices of kids, they were probably involved. Back then, they were credited as the Lucky LaRues. Now that he's passed, they've moved on to bigger and better venues and are going by their full names. Diamond and Jane have been touring with some famous faces. Ever heard of the Roottrees? And are looking to release an album over sometime in the next year. Youngest Kim is about to step into a prominent role on Broadway, taking over for one of the children in Oliver. The Lucky LaRues, indeed. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, Kim is one of the LaRues. I mean, it said he was dating Jane, but what if he was caught with Kim? Oops. Okay. What about Jane? Oh! Jane Del Vecchio is listed on a talent for hire site as a wedding singer. Way down in the credentials section of her biography, it mentions she got her start as a young girl when she was Jane LaRue of the Lucky LaRues. It also mentions to only contact her agent in the event that you actually wish to hire her, and that any and all inquiries about her past or her sister would be ignored. Okay. That's fair, to be honest. Okay. So I looked up Jem, and did I look up Clark? There was that one name. I assume this will at least get me a song. Oh, oops. Okay. And then it was like Raffer. Where did I see... Oh, God. Did I write it down over here? I don't think I did. Dang it. I guess, okay. While I wait for that... WRTV News. Investigative jazz radio station. 45 minutes. Talked about a picture taken from Carl's office. It's revealed there wasn't a break-in. It says someone with a key in the office took the picture and discovering the pipes burst due to recent storm. This means it was likely someone close to the family who was aware of the photo's history and wanted to save it. Also goes on to posit the culprit had an alternative agenda, specifically because nobody in the family has come forward to say they have it in their possession. Don't believe their lies. This is just another instance of the Roottrees curse. There's a long, rambly conspiracy website with very small, very red text on a black background that says that the Roottrees are cursed. It has been very recently updated with the following. Important update. With Carl and Brenda and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. But not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottrees company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but nobody was arrested. When Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down, was he poisoned? Now, just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. There's another entry that claims if you connect the dots in the pattern of the 5-piece candy wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull, a secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. Okay. Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver. Nobody was arrested. Okay. Post before that has a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4-corner, simultaneous 4-day time cubes. The author of the site seems to agree. An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from Chris Raff asking him to take down his site with faked proof that Ernie Madsen Jr. actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proof was fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. The first entry is from 1996 and has a blurry picture of the Roottrees Candy Company factory, seemingly taken by the website's author from behind a fence and through some trees. It seems that Operation R229 is real. I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29, 1996. The website footer says all images and ideas by Thomas Overwood. Okay, I'll put this in general search because it's bonkers. All right, so we have Operation RT29, Thomas Overwood, Chris, I'm guessing Rafferton, because that's one of the names. We have Ernie Madsen Jr. So if I look up here, again, these are Mortons. Who are the Madsens? Okay. Gwyneth. There's a Gwyneth Madsen. A Nicole Madsen. Nicole Madsen being the wife of Ernie. Okay. And I think there was a Gwyneth Morgulite. No, there's not. There's Gwen. We have not found... This is Gwendolyn. Was Gwendolyn one of our names? We have... Yes. We have... What is the spelling? Okay. It's this big picture, right? So Caroline, a Gwyneth M, and a Gwendolyn. Nope. Stop that. Gwyneth. Okay. A Gwyneth M and a Gwendolyn. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 women in this picture. One of them is Bonnie. One of them is Carolyn. One of them is Gwyneth. One of them is Gwendolyn. That's only 4. So one of the women in this picture doesn't have a name. Interesting. You are probably the daughter on this side of the tree. You could be Gwendolyn or Gwyneth. I don't know. I don't know. Chris Raff. Let's look that up. Rafferty. Did I say Rafferton? Yes, I did. Wait, was Raff? Well, I just said Raff, right? Okay. Chris Rafferty. Where were the Raffertys? Oh, there's a Clark Rafferty. So probably someone in here. I'm gonna put you here for now. Chris Rafferty. Unknown. Is there a Chris in that picture? No. Too young of a generation because it's in this generation. Chris. Well, it says 75. But it's not Clark. And unless it's short for like Christina or something. I don't know. But Ernie's definitely somewhere over here. I just don't know which one. Ernie Madsen. We make some progress, and then we lose some progress. Apparently this has 6 clues attached to it. Satisfying resolutions come from retracing a path you thought was fully explored onto the new perspective. Peter Janowitz. Okay, so this is one that I've already read. Okay, it says the lyrics of the song contain no clues, so they give it to us. But why does it still say 60? I thought the clues go down as you find them. Am I wrong about that? Because these are all cleared. But these all still have things. Including this, which says 14 things. The worst thing one of us, most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department when he retires. Okay, so... Is this an Edward? Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over when he retires. Oh, I did not mean to close that. This is her dad. They are talking about this generation though, and it clearly was not him. Because, come on. And it wasn't whoever this is, because, come on. So it has to be Clancy Jr. We don't have pictures of them. Edward Roottrees. But Edward would be in the picture, right? Hold on. This picture. Is there an Edward? No. But it's the generation after them, isn't it? I keep messing that up. No, it's not. It is this generation. But the kids are in there. I don't know if it's like one fluid generation, though. This is one from the 70s. Carl's the teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage. It says November. Oh, November. Okay. She's November. You are November Roottrees. Okay, that is useful to remember. Okay. Can I find anything about her? November. I think I already searched her name, actually. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. And you sure had a lot of marriages. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Who is Pop again? Clara's getting married, in my opinion, far too young. Let me go back to the beginning. Her father, who she always refers to as Pop, was the head lawyer of the Roottrees Candy Company. So yeah, she was referring to Clancy Edward as Pop. So every time she says Pop, she's referring to him. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. So actually that makes me think that this is Carl. There is no Carl. This is Carl, but why would Clancy Jr. send Carl if... Do I have these put in the wrong spots? Because I thought Clancy Jr. was the youngest. But yeah, that's not really making sense. We're definitely hitting my breaking point for this session. Okay, let me go back. These are the 5 pieces. Picture was famous in her house. Pop even had a frame. That's him on the left. So this is Pop. And then we had this picture with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way to the left, since to me, he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one, but I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted the 4 of us stand together, and so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. Okay, well, I actually missed that. The 4... But that's definitely her, isn't it? The only one too good to make an appearance is Gwen. So actually, that's you? Doesn't really look like her. Because she looks like she has more... Unless that's when she dyed her hair blonde and it looked terrible. I mean, you look like a professor. You look like a Clancy. Include Sam, even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why, including Sam. I also didn't think a fair miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5-piece. This made your child still holds a grudge even after all these years. So those are the 2 twins. They were grouped in the middle. That's what it says. You look like a professor. And if this is Clancy Jr. Well, either way, you're the professor. For sure. 100%. Where did we read about... I'm getting so confused. It says we're at 15 though. We're so close. Okay. I just need to figure this out. Where was that information about, like, medieval... Okay, I've already read that a million times. Where did I read that about medieval literature? Okay, let me reread this one. Lore to retrieve from a previous entry, you learned that Elias had given in to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time. I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad had a brother or 2. But I was told, trim their branches from the family tree. So why is Sam special? Nothing adds up, and I'm not the only one to realize. Angie summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen's in Paris, the rest of us blah 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 blah. Didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. Okay, that's right. So there's an Uncle Junior. This is so confusing. So there's, if it's an uncle, then it's probably a 5-piece. Uncle Junior wedding to Patsy. The reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, E.C. and John. Eli Miracle's youngest brother. Wait, hold on. Miracle, Morgalite. So that's an Uncle Junior. So one of the Patricias belongs here, I think. Because that's the only Uncle Junior she has. I'm so annoyed I can't find this information about them. This is why you need to write things down. Let me see if I wrote it in my notes anywhere. All I have written down is Lauren has a brother, Clancy, who lectures on Middle Ages. I don't have a note about who Clark's parent is. Or Carl's parent. Was it in the periodical? Guy Hudson, along with his twin sister, are no strangers to the public when it comes to Roottrees snacks. They both appeared in the company's advertisement as children during the Boys and Girls Agree era. Okay, now Guy is taking over the Roottrees company at the end of the year. Okay, so this is the next generation? Or is this the free... I think it's in the next generation. So, no, he is in that picture with them though. Guy Hudson has a twin sister. Boys and Girls Agree era. Who would have known that one of those two adorable redheads, Guy credits his mother and father, Angie and Christopher, with providing his fiery duo. Okay, thank you for just outright answering that. Angie. So I'm guessing Christopher Hudson. And they're twins, but who knows what order this is. Frick. arguing over everything but chocolate, would grow up to take over the whole company. Guy's uncle and current president, Zachariah, has decided to take an early retirement to focus on traveling the world with his wife. Zach was quoted as saying, "Now that our daughters have started families of their own, Clara and I plan to reflect on a life well lived." Okay. At least we're breaking through, like, not knowing anything. All right, so Clara, and then he has some kids. I'm guessing this is probably Guy Hudson. Just because he's important. And then this might be Clara. Wait. No, it just said he had a twin. It didn't say her name was Clara. It just said he has a twin. Now that her daughters have started families of their own, Clara and I okay, so he has 2 daughters. Guy is new to the business world, but he's family. We at Roottrees have faith in the innovative ideas, and he's eager to share them with the world. We like to think that boys and girls agree that he's already succeeded. Okay. He was the 3rd president. Okay, guys and girls era. And these are 2 daughters. I'm guessing he's Morden. Do we have more Mordens? Caroline and Gwendolyn. I'm just gonna put them like this for now, just so I don't forget that's where they're supposed to go. Wait, actually, no, because this is Hudson. It could be Bonnie. You're Bonnie Hudson. Got it. Actually, that makes sense. Okay. We have things. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So, next time, things that... Oh, let me actually write this as notes to myself. To do. Okay, so next time, things that I'm going to follow up with is more research on the Hudson family and Mordens, so that I can try to break through those. What else can we do? Oh, the guys and girls thing. That's still related to the Hudsons. Let's see. Try to match photos to that branch of the family. Look for redheads. Redheads, that side. Okay. So that's working out okay. Yeah, I think that's the basics of my plan, is mostly trying to break through some of the stuff here. I'm still very confused about this part. I really thought that I had read somewhere that Clancy was the youngest. Maybe I'm wrong, and I need to double check that somewhere. Because I thought Elias was his father, but then they said that Clancy made him enlist. So that's just really confusing me, because why would his uncle make him go, unless he passed away already? That's a possibility. I didn't really think about that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to stop here though. Next time, keep going and see what else we can discover. Bye everyone!